Good afternoon and welcome to the Design Connection Chapter Leaders Community and Other Opportunities. This webinar will take you through our new and exciting Design Connection by ASID product specifically for our members, and we built this with our members in mind. I'm Jessica Irizarry. I'm the Director of Chapter Strategy and Program Development. I'm joined by my colleague, Maisha Hawk, Associate Chapter Program Development. And I'm pleased to share that our colleague in education, Katie Festerman, will be leading us through the primary content today and explaining and launching this really exciting member benefit. Now, at this moment in time, I'd like to invite my colleague, Maisha, to go ahead and share with us the agenda.
Hello, chapter leaders and administrators. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. In our agenda today, we have a complete walkthrough of what Design Connection is, its purpose, background, and policies. You'll understand the etiquette policies behind Design Connection in order for all of us to thrive and collaborate on this online platform. We will go through a live demonstration of Design Connection, which Katie will be leading. You will be able to learn how to access and navigate Design Connection using your ASID login. You will also learn how to use the chapter leaders community page and the expectations for our chapter leaders. We will direct you on how Design Connection can support and help you thrive in a virtual space. You can learn more about how to engage in member-to-member networking. And lastly, we will be taking questions from you all and give you some next steps to get us excited about what is to come with Design Connection. Katie, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jess and Maisha, for having me today to speak, and thank all of you, our chapter leaders and administrators, for coming to learn about Design Connection and for just your volunteer work in general. We are so appreciative. So I am part of the education team, yes, but one of my roles on the education team is being a part of the project team that's been working hard to bring Design Connection to life and then continuing to monitor and grow the platform to ensure that we are providing as many strong opportunities to network and engage as possible for our members. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit about the background of Design Connection and how it's structured. So here at ASID, we've seen how important networking and collaboration are and how they are valuable tools to help members learn and grow. So our goal in creating Design Connection, this professional social platform, is to utilize that virtual world and create a space for our members where the interior design community can meet, connect, share, and socialize with members across the country and beyond. So the way Design Connection is set up, you'll notice when you go in to use it, it's very user-friendly and similar in structure to some of your other social platforms that you might be using. It holds a growing number of community groups, and those can be centered around volunteer opportunities like being a chapter leader, but more so you'll see more and more of topical groups that can be profession-based, or they can be fun/socially focused where members can have discussions, ask questions, share resources, and connect over similar interests or similar profession-based topics. So we're going to share a link in a second, I think Jess just did, to our kind of like intro/about page to Design Connection that's on our main ASID website. It's under the Careers tab. And this page is great for you if you want to take a look at it after this webinar to get a sneak peek into what Design Connection is. But you can also send it to your chapter leaders or your chapter members so they can learn about the engaging aspects of the platform. So just like all other social media sites that exist out there, Design Connection does have established rules or expectations to keep the platform operating in the manner that's intended and why it was created. And this is to ensure a safe, inclusive, and engaging space. You're going to hear me say those three words probably a lot because there are core pillars for Design Connection. And instead of calling them rules, we have dubbed them the online engagement and etiquette policies. So you're going to be prompted to agree to these the first time that you log into the platform. And you can read them in full. I'm not going to read them in full for you, but currently there's 7. The policies are subject to change. But just to quickly run through what each of them is about, we first want to make sure that we're being respectful. And I say we, and I'll say you and your, and that's just talking about all users of the platform. We're going to make sure that we're exercising the golden rule, really basic, treating others the way you want them to treat you. We want to make sure we're being professional, which while this is a platform meant for a fun space to connect to other members, just making sure we're like bringing the best version of ourselves to the platform and when we're communicating with others. And when we're communicating, we want to make sure we're being purposeful. So when you post things, post with the purpose of sharing, networking, collaborating, getting to know people, not really for the purpose of self-promotion or blatant advertising of any products or services that you offer. Number 4 is being resourceful. There's lots of ways to share media and other linked content in your posts, and we just want to make sure that those are coming from trusted sources, and then that they are also related to the community group topic at hand. So while TikTok videos and memes, I'm a huge fan of, they're hilarious. Just make sure you're sharing things that relate to the community group at large and are not inappropriate or not related to what the purpose of that group is and what you should be talking about there. Number 5 is being proactive. We know that nobody loves seeing the same thing posted again and again in any community group or platform. So just doing a quick skim through of old posts or doing a search to make sure that a question you have may have already been answered in the past. Or if you want to add to an old discussion and bring it back to life, you can do so by commenting on that old discussion and it'll bring it to the top of the latest discussion threads. 6, making sure we're being relevant. I kind of dipped into this a second ago, but making sure any comments, posts, pictures, resources that you're sharing are pertinent and related to the community group that you're participating in. And then number 7, being inclusive. We all know that we might not agree on everything, and that's totally fine. That's accepted. But just recognizing and appreciating those differences and treating everyone with respect when you're communicating about your opinions and other things. So to read those policies in full, you can check out the link that Jess just sent in the chat. Like I said, you'll also be prompted to agree to those the first time you log into the platform, and they are linked in the homepage, which I'll show you soon. But now I'm going to have Caroline take down the slides, and I'm going to go into a tour of Design Connection and a walkthrough. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead and send those in the Q&A feature. But we're going to make sure to answer all of them live at the end. But if you have any questions while I'm speaking, go ahead and just pop those in there and we'll head back to them. So when you head to the Design Connection site, which I think the link is coming in the chat, you're going to be taken to this homepage, and this is just like a landing page where you will log in. You'll see a login button at the top here. And then there's also just, if you ever want to browse through any highlights that we're showcasing, we feature rotating content and things relevant to ASID and what is important to our members. So that's our landing page. Once you log in, you'll be taken to the exclusive member homepage. And I'm just going to first point out here that you will totally have questions, and that's okay as you begin to use the platform, and that's why we have the Design Connection Help Center. It includes an FAQ and lots of walkthrough videos that are very engaging and take you step by step to how to do different things on the platform. So that will always live on the homepage. But you'll see here on this homepage, like I said before, it is very similar in structure and functionality to any social platforms you may have used in the past. There's an activity feed in the center, which shows you latest happenings in community groups that you are a part of, but also community groups that you can view and have the option to join. And this is an easy space to like any post or to hop into the discussion by replying. We have a set of quick links here just to get you where you need to go quickly, whether you need help and want to look at the FAQs, whether you want to hop to customizing your profile or adjusting your subscription settings. The quick links is just a tool to take you to all those important places very quickly without having to go through a handful of steps. And then we have a leaderboard on Design Connection, which recognizes the weekly top contributors of the platform. And those are members who may be commenting on posts, they're writing posts, they're liking things, or they're receiving likes. And this is just a glimpse into part of the gamification and fun that fun competition that is on the platform. And it's a good opportunity to recognize our members for participating in this member benefit. And then there's other widgets on the community or the homepage just to get you where you need to go quickly. You can see a list of all your community groups, any content that you have followed, and any community-wide events that are posted on the platform. And then lastly, the homepage features a profile card, which gives you a glimpse into your achievements and profile completion. My profile is 100% completed, so you don't see my percentage bar there, but if you log in to your profile, you'll see a percentage bar that may have a handful of percentage points there because some of our information is being synced, which leads me to talking about the profile. So your Design Connection profile is completely customizable. We link some information to the database. You can access your profile by clicking your name or your photo anywhere you see it, or you can access it from the top here and click profile. All of those options take you to the same place. So you'll see that on the left-hand side here, you'll see some contact information. In the top, you will see your name. And then if you have your job title in our database in Impexium, and a company or organization linked, those things will sync from the database. And you might be wondering, what if I don't want these things to show to other people? That's an option. Only you are seeing your contact details, and I'll get to privacy settings in just a moment. So those are items that are syncing from the database. And if you want to modify any of those or even add a picture, you can do so by clicking Actions and clicking Change Picture, and that'll take you to our database right where you can change your picture, or you can always access it down below here where it says ASID member account. And then as for what's completely customizable and lives in Design Connection, and really an engaging part of your profile that allows you to get to know other people and for other members to get to know you, is everything in the center here. So you'll notice when you first log in that this is all blank because this is a clean slate for you to add things to your Design Connection profile. You can include your bio, any professional associations you are a part of, your education background, any honors and awards that you have, and then your hobbies and interests outside of your personal or outside of your professional life. And then you can include the market sectors that you are currently doing work in. And these things are not permanent. Once you add something, you can edit it, you can delete it. And whether it is your contact details coming from the database or whether it's items you are updating here, all of these pieces go into completing your profile. And now that I've showed you that part, I'll just do a quick walkthrough of what else can you do on your profile. I mentioned editing your privacy settings. So under the My Account tab, you'll see that you can edit your privacy settings, and this will show you who can see what. Who can see my picture? Everybody. But who can see my address or my phone number? Only me. And a lot of these are put in by default to only be viewable by you, like those more personal pieces. Whereas you'll see a lot of things like the customizable information and Design Connection can be viewed by members only. But you are free to make any of those changes to what you prefer, and you can save them so that they are reflected. Also, under this My Account tab, you can change your email preferences and any notifications you're getting from your community groups. And this has been a big question in our first week since we've launched is, I want more emails, or I feel like I'm getting too many emails. What do I do? And we're going to send you to these pages where you can review which types of emails you'd like to be a part of. And then you can toggle yes or no to opt in and out of those. And then under the community group settings and notifications, you can update your profile to say which communities you would like included in a digest that could come daily or weekly, depending on what you have opted into. And those pieces are unique to each member, so you can do with that what you would like. We've also had a lot of questions about how do I reflect my chapter leadership, or how do I reflect my appellations to members in my discussions. And this is a great place, the discussion signature, Mine is blank, but you can use the variables or type anything you would like to fall at the end of any discussions you are participating in, so that not only your name is being shared, but if you would like to share that you are a chapter leader or you're part of this chapter, or maybe you want to share your appellations, those can be all part of your discussion signature, similar to what you may have in using your email. And then lastly, in the profile tab, you'll see that you can access who your contacts are. Just like with Facebook, you can add people as friends or as contacts, what communities you're part of. And then on the My Contributions tab, this one is super cool. This is where gamification comes into place. The My Summary is going to show you all types of points that you have. Engagement is based on everything you're doing on the platform, whether it's commenting on something, joining a community, or even just like viewing a resource. Whereas contributions are what we're really highlighting in our leaderboard, is what you are contributing to the platform. Are you participating in discussions, starting discussions, adding resources for your fellow community members to use and that are helpful to them? And then achievements are also part of our platform in our fun way to include gamification and to win things. We have a collection of badges, which is growing every day. And you'll see that there's badges for different types of things, like updating your profile. You can get badges for each percentage step that you complete. And then there's also badges for different types of things like communities, participating in discussions, library entries, and more. And if you ever want to know what you have to do to earn a badge, you can simply hover your mouse over it and it will show the requirements and what that badge is standing for. And you'll see at the top here, we'll have exclusive badges, like maybe you've completed the profile campaign, which first email went out on last Friday. But we'll also have other fun badges that you can participate in and complete that are like a limited time sort of thing. And the goal with this is, can you collect them all? They're going to be ever growing, but collecting them all means that you're engaged and you're, communicating with people on our platform and networking with other members and growing. So that's the goal. Completing them all and collecting them all means that you are engaging in the platform as much as you can. So let's dive into that main space of what Design Connection is, and that is going to be the community groups. And you can find and join community groups by clicking communities at the top and going to all communities. And what this page is going to show you is all communities that you have access to view or have access to join. So you'll see I am going to have more than you, simply because I have that super admin access. So I can see all communities, but you will see all those public communities or communities that you're able to join. You will either see that you can join them outright, or you can request to join them. And what it means by requesting to join, and we'll go into this in a little bit about your community, is the community is a little bit more private. It's a little bit more locked down. And a lot of the times we're doing that because it might be centered around some type of volunteer group. And that's what we're going to go into later about your chapter leaders group. But once you have found a community group or groups that you would like to join, you just click join. And you'll see that a box is going to come up asking you what type of emails you want to receive about this specific group. And at the top, you have the option to include or not include a daily or weekly digest. And what this does is it will take latest postings from all the community groups you're a part of, whether it's 1 or whether it's 5 or 10, and it's going to put all that latest content in one email. So you're not receiving separate messaging from all the different communities. I, at the very minimum, like to include my new communities on the weekly digest, just to make sure I'm informed on what's going on and what I can participate in. And then you also have the option to receive a digest for what's going on specifically in the discussion areas of your community group. You may choose to receive a daily digest just for this community. You can receive a real-time email if you want to be super involved and want a notification every time somebody posts a discussion. Or if you're already opted into the Consolidated Digest, you might choose to opt out of receiving a separate community group email just for this one community. So after you select your preferences, you're just going to hit yes, join the community group, and then you're going to have access to viewing and commenting on what's going on in that group. So I'm going to quickly show you real quick a more active group in our platform currently, and that's our advocacy-based group, Advocacy in Action. And you'll see in a community group that there's an option for the community ambassadors to add announcements. Depending on the community, ambassadors and even members can add events that relate to the purpose of that community. You'll see that our advocacy person on staff, Lauren Early, she is great about updating all of the latest advocacy related events or things that she's doing with members for advocacy. And then you'll see you have a glimpse into all of the latest discussions where you can post or you can click on any latest discussion to see what's happening. And then you also have the option to view all discussions that are going on the discussions tab. And this will show you the subject of each thread and how many replies it currently has. And you can get in there and you'll see Lauren's initial post is at the top and all replies are following it, just like in other social media platforms. And you can like somebody's reply. You can reply to the initial post. You can reply to anyone who also has commented. And so while the look and feel is a little bit different from other social platforms, the functionality is the same. You can reply to the initial post. You can reply to people. You can like a message. And then you can also, when you reply, you'll see that Lauren was fun and she used some colors and things in her post. So when you go to reply, you can type all of the text that you would like to enter. And you can bold it, italicize it, use bullets. You can insert images and use different sizes. You can insert any links that are appropriate to what's being talked about. But you really have tons of options. You can use color and make it fun. You can mention people using the @ button. You'll see that if I type in my own name, I'm going to come up here because I can, I'm in the directory, so I can mention myself and I can mention others that are in the directory. So very similar functionality to a lot of the social platforms that we use day to day. So we just wanted to do this to create a space where members can talk to each other and can network and grow their network. So just community groups also have, past the discussion, you can use the library feature to add any resources or to view any resources. Lauren has a ton of things in here all about advocacy. And so you'll see that she's really following those netiquette policies to keep what the community group is about, to maintain the purpose. And she's done that through adding her library entries. And she has some videos in here. She has a PDF. She has a slideshow. So you can really add or different media to the library. And if you have something that's a little bit longer, maybe it's too big for a discussion. Maybe it's something you've personally written and want to share in a new space. That's what the blog feature is for. The blogs area is a great way to share something that might be a little bit longer. Let's see what else she has in here. I think she might just be linking, but this can be a space for you to type something really lengthy. And similar to the discussion and the library areas of the site, you can also like and comment on any blog in support of what that person said, or maybe you have questions about what they've written and you want to follow up. So that is the blogs tab. The events tab is exactly that. It's a space to view all the events happening in a blog. And then you can see all the members of this specific community group by clicking the members tab. I will note that only members who are opted into the directory are going to show here. So you'd have to opt into the member directory from the database, from your ASID account, so that you show up to other members in the platform. So the advocacy group is one group that we have going on, but we currently have community groups for students, for educators, for those going through the NCIDQ process. But I strongly suggest that you join the ASID Member Hub community group. And this is just a generic main space for all of our members to join, to ask questions, whether it's relating to membership or whether you don't really have another space to post it. The Member Hub is really that general main space for you to come when you first hopped onto the platform. And you'll see that we have a lot of members in here so far in just the first week. And we have lots of active discussions for you to participate on, a welcome post. And then we also have just some other posts that we're featuring from other staff members, from some of our industry partners who want to share some fun things. But anyone is welcome to comment, but you are also so welcome to post your own discussion questions, to post your own discussion topics to get people talking, because while we love as staff connecting with you, and we will always look for connections to talking and connecting to our members, we want this to be a space that you use for the purposes that is best for you. So if you have a member question that you would like another member's input on, or you just want to start a discussion, do that. You're more than welcome to, and encouraged to start your own discussions. So that's the ASID Member Hub. And then, so that concludes our live demo. That's everything I wanted to show you live here today. I'm going to stop sharing so that Caroline can pull the slides back up, and we are going to dive in. You may have seen the ASID Chapter Board Leaders Collaborative Community Group listed there when I was showing the All Communities page. And that is one of the reasons we invited you here today, is to invite you to join that community group as a space to collaborate and get your questions answered and have discussions with fellow chapter leaders. And Caroline, I'm going to have you go to the next slide. And so you'll see that community listed when you go to the All Communities page. It's normally the second one currently in the alphabetical organization, but you'll see that that group is a request to join group, like I mentioned before. So before I pass it to Maisha, I'm going to go into what a request to join is. And when you hit that request to join button, this little box is going to pop up. And it asks you to provide a short message for joining this group. And what we aren't able to customize the question, the prompt that comes up, but what we would like you as chapter leaders and administrators to do is so that we can verify who you are and that you actually belong to this private group. We ask you to enter your chapter and then also your role in leadership for that chapter. And then after you do that, you'll be prompted to select those digest notifications that we talked about earlier. But after you submit that, Jess and Maisha, and then whoever in the future is taking over the approvals are going to review that. But before I pass it to Maisha, I'll just say that anything discussed in this group is not viewable by the general membership. It is a private community. Some staff, like myself, as just a platform administrator, have access to viewing the group. Jess and Maisha are in the group as current ambassadors, but it's not something that we're checking all the time. We want this to be a private space for you, but just know that this isn't something that your discussions are going to be seen by everybody. So it is an exclusive space for you. And then I'm going to pass it to Maisha, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the approval process of getting you into that group and then what the group is all about.
Thank you, Caroline. I'm sorry. Thank you, Katie. Caroline, you are welcome to move on to slide 15. Thank you. So just to pick up from where Katie left off, the difference between this platform and the Volunteer Hub is that the Volunteer Hub is specifically monitored and controlled by your ASID HQ chapters team. What that means is we keep all the hereditary information from board to board, and that information is often changed as changes are made. So we keep that up to date. However, what's not on the Volunteer Hub is that peer-to-peer discussion platform. This is your chance to talk to each other, share successes, and really brag about all the amazing things that your chapter is doing. It is highly monitored, as Katie has referenced. The content is really for you to post. However, as long as you're paying attention to what our policies are and the guidelines are for participation, you are welcome to have discussions, ask questions, and really connect. We want you to maximize this tool, so please definitely talk about it with your co-chapter leaders, talk about it with the other chapters, but also keep in mind that this is specifically for chapter board leaders. So that is different from the chairs of your communities, design communities, or the chapter committees themselves. So if you plan to share the links, just keep in mind that that will be shared specifically between your fellow chapter board leaders. I will also say that it's important to remember that we will be monitoring who is putting in the request to join. So please include your chapter board position and which chapter it is that you belong to in order to get accepted. So if you get rejected because of lack of information provided, I apologize, but please rejoin by or request to rejoin by just adding that information there so that it makes it seamless for us at the HQ level. The last thing I will add is that you can move to the next slide, Caroline. The library feature. So everything that you post, Katie had discussed what it looks like to the advocacy page. This is some of the posts that we've posted so far. If you attach a file or a picture, it automatically gets filed over to the library. So if you are trying to just quickly navigate through the Design Connection page and you want to find a specific resource someone had shared, this is how you go ahead and do so. On the next slide, you will see another way for you to really brag about the amazing events that might be happening on your chapter, especially if they're virtual. You can go ahead and go to this events page and post what is coming up and specific links that might be related to it. And if it is open to other chapters to attend, they can do so by going here and registering. Before we move on to the Q&A, if you are watching this as a recording and you would like to have access to the links that we have referenced, please reach out to chapters@asid.org and we'll be happy to provide you those links. And if you are not aware of what the Volunteer Hub is, please reach out to a chapter administrator. If your chapter doesn't currently have an administrator, please reach out to, again, the chapters team. And now we will move on to the Q&A portion of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maisha and Katie. I'm going to invite you guys to come back on camera and join me in a little conversation while we while folks get their questions prepared and typed into the Q&A feature. I know I had a lot of questions and I'm on staff side as you were going through that demo. You did such a great job. It's a very robust system. And I think that was very clear as we were going through the different channels, the different features that you have. It's a very powerful community tool. Katie, while we're waiting for our folks to answer some questions, what's your favorite feature about this new platform and why do you love it so much for our members?
Whenever I'm asked this, I go between two, so I guess I'll just say both. I think the first is just the discussion feature as a whole. I think the opportunities for it are endless in what it can do. Already as staff, we have posted things to our members and we're hearing from people I otherwise would have never met. You know, maybe you meet people in passing at Gather or other events, but this is really a place to connect with members across the country and to get to know people when otherwise you might not have had the chance for that. And it's an ongoing relationship. It's a way to make contacts. And then I'd say my other favorite feature is just everything related to gamification, whether it's the points and badges that you can earn while using the platform. I will say the member hub community, that main community group, is going to have opportunities to participate in contests and giveaways and other fun activities on the platform. So it's just like a fun way to get social and to have incentives for that. And I'm somebody who when I get into an app on a game, I want to get all the achievements. And that's just me. So that space is really great because I want to earn all the badges. So I'd say that's my favorite space. And I will say it just as a sneak peek to those who are viewing this live, we will be having an activity launching starting this Friday in the Member Hub group for National Scavenger Hunt Day.
Fun.
A fun way to learn how to use the platform and to explore it. And then in the following weeks, we're going to be running a contest in the member hub where you can win a actual legitimate real world prize.
A real world. Can we know what that real world prize is? Drum up some
I
excitement among our chapter leaders.
believe it's a gift card. I don't know exactly to where yet, but it's a gift card. And then you'll also have the opportunity, if you want to be featured in an Instagram story highlight for like a member highlight. So that'll start, I think, next week and run for a handful of weeks.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. And Maisha, I'm going to ask you a kind of a similar question. I know that you and I are exposed to this similar platform and the association that you and I belong to. I'm not sure how much, use that you get out of it, but I know for me, I find it to be an extremely valuable resource when I'm looking for tools or examples of work that others have done. If I'm stuck on something, or if I need to understand what maybe a boundary is or a line is, I can go to that group and I know that I'm going to get some thought leaders' perspectives, and I'm going to get some really great intel back. How do you hope or how do you see that the member community hub in particular being used with our ASID members?
Thanks, Jess. You're right. So chapter leaders, it is, I will say that as your chapter HQ team, we also understand the member volunteer experience as well. So I would say that the way that I recommend, or I highly hope that our chapter leaders will use this platform, is not only to share their amazing activities and engagement activities that the chapters are doing to innovate and inspire other chapters, but also to ask questions or just show us the amazing things that you're working on at the moment. That's really what I'm looking forward to the most. We also have a specific holidays and recognizing specific heritage months throughout Design Connection, and we hope that you will engage with those and include your own posts to show how you're celebrating yourself and your fellow chapter members. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. So really what I hear is that it's not just for work-based stuff, although that is a really good use of this platform. It's also to get to know one another, to share something that you draw inspiration from, something that has impacted you in a way that you feel is relevant in the moment and relevant for your peer group. That can happen at the chapter leaders channel as well. That's specific to chapter leader development, chapter leader operations, board operations, things like that. And as Katie mentioned, that group is private and it is restricted to just you guys. Right now, staff is on it, Maisha and myself, as community ambassadors, because we want to drum up conversation. And that's our main purpose. So we really won't be posting so much about operations specifically, but we will be posting more about let's get to know you, just to try to get you familiar and engaging with the tool. Sharing photos of springtime flowers, for example, that was one of my favorite posts that we were testing recently. So as you make your request to come in and as we approve those requests, then you'll be able to see all of the history of the chats that we've done. So I think that's really an exciting feature as well. We did have a question from Kathy to drop the leadership group into the chat. Katie, is that possible? Like, is it just the Design Connection, or can we drop the direct link to the community?
Yeah, I've gone ahead and dropped the link in the chat.
Okay.
Each different community group has a specific link when you click on the community group and you're at the homepage. Yeah, I've shared that link in the chat, and that'll take you, if you're logging in for the first time, it'll take you to our login screen. You'll log in with your member credentials. Remember, we switched to that new database, so you have a single sign-on that's the same across your member account, Design Connection, and all of our other platforms. So when you click that link, you'll be prompted to log in. If it's your first time logging in, you'll be prompted to read and agree to those policies. And then the link should be taking you right to that community group where you'll enter that that information we're asking for, and then you can opt into the digest to get updates on what's happening in that group.
Awesome, thank you. So it seems like you did such a good job at explaining the design connection platform that we have absolutely no questions from our audience and from our attendees. It's a good thing that it's been recorded because there is a lot to kind of go through and dig around.
I will say just really quick, it is something, I don't expect everyone to listen to me spiel on about it for 20 minutes and understand it completely. It's one of those things where, you have the fun in it and you get to know it once you just actually get in and get using it. It's okay if you accidentally make a discussion post and click send before you're ready. We understand we're all getting, used to knowing the platform and getting used to using it. So we know that it's a learning space for a little bit of time, and that's completely fine. We encourage you just to get in and explore that.
So let's actually, I got a question. I feel like others might have it as well. When somebody sends a message that they didn't mean to send, or that they notice a spelling error in, for example, I had a spelling error in my message that I had set up to run previously. You can set messages up to go in advance, that I'm embarrassed by now. I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but I didn't. Do members have an opportunity to edit something they've already posted or delete something they've already posted?
It depends on the settings for each specific community group. If you go to, there's like a drop down arrow next to the reply button where you can, mark something as inappropriate, which I'm going to touch on in a minute. And if you have the option to edit it, that will come up, or if you have the option to delete, that'll come up. But if it's like a big whoopsie and you just really want it out of the platform, you can email the Design Connection email at community@asid.org, and we can help you with that request.
Thank you. I'm going to put that into the chat right now so folks have access to that. We had a couple of questions from our administrators who are having trouble logging in. I think this is a really great opportunity. I'm going to kick to Maisha to reset those parameters and boundaries over the community group.
Yes. Chapter administrators, this is a member feature. So the reason why you don't have access to it is because it is exclusively for our chapter leaders and our members. I understand if you're trying to figure out how to navigate the system, so you're trying to explain it to the chapter leaders. Unfortunately, as it is right now, our chapter administrators do not have access to Design Connection. However, Katie and I and the chapter team have talked about future iterations and the possibility to have our own group. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thanks, Maisha. I thought that was a very thorough answer, and thank you for providing some of our future thought as well. If you guys have any additional questions related to that, please feel free to pop them in the chat or send Maisha and I an email at chapters@asid.org.
And if you're having any trouble logging in, whether it's saying something about your account or something, you can email that community@asid.org address. That's like the tech hotline. And we can get back to you on why it's giving you trouble, and we can get you in. And then if you'd also like to CC the chapters team, just so they're up to date on who we're helping and making sure that they are all set up and ready to go. So if you have any inquiries or are having trouble, email community@asid.org and we'll get back to you.
Thanks, Katie. So before we go to our closing wrap-up thoughts, I just want to make sure that our chapters are aware that this is a member benefit. It's for them. It is created with them in mind. We will be expanding our community groups based on topic areas as the program and as the platform becomes a lot more robust, and as we see the need for those types of niche conversations to happen and to take place. In the meantime, please do share this new member benefit with your members as you engage with them, as you're talking with them, either at your events or in your newsletters. It is on the landing page of our website, and we look forward to continuing dynamic, robust, professional discussions, as well as getting to know all of our members on a more personal level. Any parting words, Katie or Maisha?
I will quickly say, well, before I say my thank you, just in terms of logging in, if you have an active ASID member account that is personal to you, you have access to Design Connection, and we are happy and excited to have you log in and have you there. So if there's any questions about your membership status, or maybe it's expired, we can get you all worked out with the membership team. And then once you're all set up, you will be synced in to Design Connection. But thank you all for your continued support. We are so excited about this platform, and we're just excited to see our members engaging and connecting in ways that they weren't able to before. So it's a great new free member benefit that we are excited and thrilled to offer.
And I'll just add and say endless gratitude for everyone who is currently watching this. Thank you so much for participating, and thank you to the education team for putting together this amazing platform.
Thank you.